Build creative confidence. Beat the inspiration addiction. Join the Writer's Gym. At one of the sessions at Barnes Writer's Gym recently, we were playing Excuses Bingo. If you've been listening for a while, you might have played along with me. What you do for Excuses Bingo is you draw a grid, maybe about 5 lines down, about 5 lines across on a blank piece of paper. So you've got a great big series of boxes, and into those boxes go the thoughts and feelings that happen when you start writing, or when you could start writing and maybe don't, which is the more important bit for a lot of people. We played that game yesterday, and here are a few of the things that went in there. I should be doing something else. What if it's too boring? What if it's too weird? I have too many ideas and I don't know which to pick. I don't have an idea. You can kind of see, as I show them in a pattern, the way the brain is working. It's doing its job. It's keeping us in status quo of not having written something, because status quo is familiar. When I keep imagining how great my book is going to be when I finally write it, if I'm not engaging in the small acts that move towards writing it, that means the brain gets to stay in the status quo of the dream without turning that dream into a series of goals of which we are individually in control. So this is why it's called Excuses Bingo, because we're kind of calling the brain's bluff. Yes, brain, thank you. I know you are trying to help, but I'm just going to give you a little pat on the head, sit you down next to the computer, recognize these voices are not instructions. They are just fears, and they don't have to be my boss, and I'm going to keep writing. So what we do with each of those is we write something, maybe in a different color, in each of the boxes where we've written a thought or a feeling that keeps us from writing. One of them is, it might be too boring. And what I'm about to say goes for it might be too weird, and it might be too anything else as well, which is, what if this is the book that saves somebody's day, or potentially life? What if this is the book somebody needs at exactly the time they need it? Because I can absolutely promise you, every book you can see behind me, if you're watching this right now, every book you can see in your life in any bookshop was written by a human being who also could have gone and done the ironing instead. And that is not just one day, that is a series of tiny choices we choose to show up again and again and again. And we do that when we stop taking our own reasons not to. So what I'm going to ask you to do is notice yours and give yourself the positive opposite, the equivalent what if. So I should be doing something else. What if I give myself 5 minutes, or what if I make myself do 5 minutes of transcribing whatever is in my head, and I push that down the road to future me? I only have to do 5 minutes, and then I can do that ironing guilt-free. I can procrastinate for England, but I'll do the procrastination after I've done the writing instead of before. What we're doing is we're not arguing against what the brain is doing. We're playing yes and. I know that is a natural thing for you. I get what you want to do. I will do that with you. And we're going to do my thing, which is the 5 minutes of writing. So that was Excuses Bingo. But here's the other thing I saw yesterday that's really been on my mind ever since. The should of I should be doing something else. One of the words that came up for a couple of people was that it was indulgent to write. And that for me is really interesting, because it comes back to our sense of our right to our own time. There will always be a to-do list. There will always be a lot of things we should be doing. But what's the goal of all those things? There's that lovely quote about AI. I want AI to do my dishes so I can do my art, not do my art so I can do my dishes. And yet, here's the one thing that we most need to do in order to do that, is acknowledge we want to do it. That procrastination is a completely natural thing, but so is wanting to do something. So our sense of our right to our own time is something that I've been sitting with. When we're busy, we don't have to listen to the goals quite as much, because we're so into those 1 minute of process that we don't have to think about the bigger things, which it can work like anesthetic. I know some people who've said to me that until they realised what they were doing to themselves, they made themselves really busy after coaching, or really busy after their therapy, or really busy after something else, where the brain actually most needs that time to internalise what it's learnt, to realise it's okay that things are how they are, that we are who we are, and that is okay. And yet we try to feel busy, and that need to feel busy does sometimes mean we put the cart before the horse. So it might be worth sitting with our why as writers. Why do I want to write? It's not, I think, because you want to simply tell the world how clever you are, tell the world how perfect your idea is. I think it's more of a conversation than that. I think it's about listening. And I think that's maybe why making the time for yourself can be so scary, because we don't quite know what's coming. We can't quite know what's coming because it is utterly unique. Only you can ever write the thing that you can write. And you will write it if you give yourself little bits of time over and over again. So here's another excuses bingo card, if you like, from yesterday, is I need at least an hour. What if you don't? What if today I give myself those 5 minutes to transcribe what falls out of my head, push that down the road to future me, like I said, and keep that going? What if it's not about waiting to start at the perfect time? What if it's about starting from exactly where you are today and then doing a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more? What if the goal that we want to move towards is actually sitting with us today? It's just that what we need to do in order to achieve it is take a tiny piece today, and a tiny piece tomorrow, and a tiny piece tomorrow. What if that's what makes the thing that only you can write come into the world as its best self?
You've visited the Writer's Gym with author and coach Dr. Rachel Knightley. Production and sound design are by Ashley Lexine, and theme music is by Chris Gregory. To join a Writer's Gym workout online or in London, as a guest or as a member, visit writersgym.com or email thewritersgym@rachelknightley.com.